Listen, we got to change gears. We can go back to this in a minute or two, but we got Amy Sutherland on our phone lines.
She's a tough cookie, this one.
Oh, absolutely. She wrote a book.
Look out, guys. Look out, guys.
She wrote a book that piqued our interest, How to Train Men.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk to Amy Sutherland. Amy.
Hi.
Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
The name of the book, once again?
Is What Shamu Taught Me About Life, Love, and Marriage.
Shamu, now, of course, you mean the killer whale.
That's right.
Down there at SeaWorld.
That's right.
Well, it's you're a tough cookie, Amy. What's going on with this book? Seems like you're really taking men to task.
Well, the thing is that I wish I was a tough cookie. I've always tried to be a tough cookie, but in fact, if I was using, the way the trainers work now are all with rewards, and they're like they're fuzzy and warm and nice. They're the old school trainers.
Sure.
And I'm a new school trainer. So.
Ugh. That's hilarious. It's, again, automatically, I'm going to tell you what the flaw is in thinking. You don't want to be the controller. That's the thing. Women don't want to win. You want a winner. You don't want to rule the nest. That's why you've never met a happy woman boss, because you don't want to be there. You're angry about being a boss. You want a boss. You want your man to be the leader. Do you understand? This is why it's already flawed on a prehistoric level. Why would you don't want to run your husband? Do you know why running your husband is not sexy? Because you don't want to be there doing it. That's why it never works for a woman to run things, because you don't want to. You look at your husband like, ugh, look at this bum letting me run his life. Phooey. You just have a loser for a man.
Well, but see, that's the thing, is that this isn't about controlling. This isn't about...
No. Oh, okay, animal training, but you go ahead.
No, you're doing an animal training thing. It says reward behavior you want, ignore the behavior you don't want.
I want to hear how this works.
Yeah.
I really...
Well, but that means, the first thing you should know is that the way this works, the way trainers work now, is they don't use punishment. They only use it, say, if the Shamu is attacking. Actually, they don't even use it in that case either. But... So what you do is lay off the punishment, which means that you lay off things like nagging. So,
but that's not your. See, you got to understand. Nagging is what you do, right?
Yeah, but nagging doesn't work.
But see, you're being, and I'm not angry. I'm like, this is passionate things for me. I love talking about this stuff, but immediately it's a man's fault for letting you think that your nagging would bother him. I dismiss my woman when she nags. Dismiss her. Because the only power she has in her nagging is the power I give her. It means nothing. Even her jealousy means nothing unless I tell it to mean something. If she's jealous, I let her know that the reason that it's working, her jealousy is working, is because I'm allowing it to work. Is that the fact that I'm giving it some validation because I love her, and I go, look, I'll let you be jealous. I'll explain who this girl was. I'll explain what I was doing last night. But if all I have to do is go, shut up, what are you going to do ultimately? See, ultimately, I can sock you through a wall. Ultimately, you can't do nothing.
See, you're actually doing animal training.
Yes. Of course, because I'm the one that should be training you.
Yeah, you know how it works.
It's like the tuna is running the ocean. Tunas don't want to run the ocean. Sharks run the ocean. That's how the ecosystem works.
Bravo to Patrice. Yeah, we should be doing the training, you shouldn't be training us.
Well, but that's what it's already going on. People are out there training each other.
You got a boyfriend?
People are better than others at it.
You got a boyfriend?
Pardon me? I have a husband.
You got to talk sexy, baby.
Where is this guy? Is he on your book tour with you?
Am I what? Is he what? I'm sorry, I didn't understand you. What?
Go ahead.
Where's the guy?
He's out walking the dog.
No.
So what are you suggesting with this book? Why don't you give us a few examples?
Well, basically what he was just talking about is that if there's a behavior you don't want, one of the best things you can do is ignore it, which is how, exotic animal trainers work. If they don't want the animal to do something that it's doing, then they don't reinforce it in any way, which is what you were saying.
But, Miss, let me ask you,
And it's not happening.
Miss, respectfully, let me ask you, don't you think, like, let's say you're in a relationship and you find that it's not going the way you want it to, and you want to train a person, I mean, don't you feel that if the training isn't going where it should be, isn't that not going to, like, ultimately not reinforce something because of what was once said but not yesterday? Like, you understand?
I'm not sure I totally understand, but I think what you're saying is that timing's important.
No, that's not at all what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, in the relationship, if you're attempting to train somebody, is it possible that the training would be dragged out the wrong way, and all of a sudden they're going, well, if I'm going to be trained, well, then who's not to train me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the thing is that, you know, I mean, what I wrote about can really, it's not gender specific.
Right, but that's missing my point completely.
Yeah.
That's missing because I'm saying it is gender specific. Do you feel that to train somebody, it should be a reverse situation as well?
Ideally, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's where we disagree.
But the thing is that, see, you're thinking of training is just that it decides who's in control.
But that's not what was said, though, because that's not what we're trying to make the point. It's about gender specificness.
It's about
just
about communicating. Well, you know, you're talking about your idea of training. What I wrote about is how you can use your behavior to communicate what you want.
Yeah, but Patrice, I'm sorry. Go ahead. You talk. I didn't mean to. I apologize.
It's essentially how using the ideas exotic animal trainers use to get animals to teach animals what they want them to do without using any kind of language, any kind of English. This is use these sort of ideas to sort of teach each other with our behavior what we like and what we don't like.
You filthy slob.
What?
What?
So the book is titled "What Bob Kelly Taught Me About Life, Love, and Marriage."
Patrice was raising some good issues, though, Miss, about the training. I mean, do you agree or disagree? Because Patrice is.
But the control thing, though, Miss, you are trying to control, though. That's the thing. If you're trying to train something, you're trying to control. You're not trying to train a guy for equalness or happiness. You're trying to train him for your happiness.
But see, that's all old school kind of training.
Right.
That's not the way trainers work now.
But if you train a dog, you're not training a dog to be your best buddy and on an equal level. You're training them to do what you need him to do when you need him to do it. That's what training is.
Yeah, but I mean, when you communicate to somebody what you would like them to do, is that taking control of them?
Yeah, if communication is not enough where you go, hey, can you do this? And he goes, yes. Then training is when you say, can you do this? And they go, no. And then you have to figure out ways to get them to say yes and make your life better.
So basically you're saying people should never change each other's behavior ever.
No, this should be a leader of the relationship.
Yeah, or just get a divorce and find a new one. That might be more compatible.
The way in your world, the leader says what goes, and that's
absolutely. That's what happens in the army. Do the soldiers tell the general what they think? No, they just do it, and that's what makes the army or the navy or the marines what it is because there's a leader of the situation.
Or the Air Force.
Or the Air Force.
Well, I mean, I don't know. We're talking two parallel universes. I mean,
not really. Relationships are the same thing as the Army and the Navy. It's just like attention. Somebody has a actual place where they want you to be. That's the thing. See, okay. There's a goal to what you're trying to do, and what's that goal?
The goal is to communicate what you want to somebody.
Yeah.
So that you get along better.
So that you're happier, correct?
Right, so that you're not yelling and nagging and, scrapping and fighting, and that's what a lot of couples end up doing.
But it trickles.
It doesn't matter who's in charge. If people aren't unhappy,
it does matter who's in charge, so why isn't your husband in charge? You're in charge of him.
No, I would disagree.
So what are you equal?
You've trained him, though.
Yeah, he's trained.
By you training him...
the thing is that what I'm trying to say is that I haven't trained him, and I haven't taken control of my marriage. All I'm doing is using these ideas to communicate to my husband what I would like him to do. Whether he does it or not is ultimately his decision.
No, it's not.
Can I ask a question, please? Because there's something I want to take issue with you. Maybe you're saying you're not trying to, but it says One of your lessons: keep your cool. Don't take an animal's actions personally, not even when the animal has left his smelly bike clothes on the bathroom floor or snapped at you for nagging to get a hearing test. I mean, don't you think that, like, with talk like that, when you're discussing training, that it's always going to come back to not necessarily bite the trainer, but also it just kind of it circles everybody, whether you train them or if it's not going to happen.
Yep.
I didn't follow that.
Right? No, of course not, because it's hurt.